The big day is almost upon us as Belmont Stakes 152, the Belmont Stakes presented by NYRA Bets. This Saturday, it's the first leg of the Triple Crown, and the best way to play the Belmont Stakes in all the races at the NYRA racetracks is through NYRA Bets. Head on over to NYRA Bets if you're not a member. You get a free $25 play, plus we'll match up to your $200 deposit bonus. Use the promo code Belmont25 to play all the Belmont Stakes races and all the races all year long and all throughout the years at the NYRA racetracks. The Belmont Stakes, presented by NYRA Bets, a field of 10, and make no mistake, the 6-5 morning line favorite, the 8, Tis the Law, is the horse to beat. Here's his last start, winning the Florida Derby down at Gulfstream Park, and Tis the Law is going to try to complete the Triple Crown for Sakatoga Stable and Barclay Tag that Funnyside failed to do 17 years ago. Tis the Law is absolutely the horse to beat. He draws well towards the outside. He has the speed to put himself in position, so he won't be compromised if they're not flying up front, but he's also a horse that's shown he can sit behind horses, he can take dirt, he can rate, and really his trainer Barclay Tag has used all of his races as learning experiences headed towards this Triple Crown. And while it is an unusual Triple Crown, the 1 1/8 distance suits him very well, and to me Tis the Law is an hour and a half the horse to beat, and not one I am particularly trying to beat. But I do respect other players in here, like the number 3 Max player for Linda Rice. Linda Rice trying to become the first woman to win a Triple Crown race. Joel Rosario picks up the mountain. Joel Rosario, of course, gave that great ride to Sir Winston last year. Now, Dylan Davis rode this horse a long, long way, and Joel's going to have to eat his Wheaties to get ready for this Belmont Stakes, because this horse is kind of slow into stride, and he takes a lot of work, but he gets there. Now, there's no question, based on his speed figures, that he's a work in progress, and he'll have to get much faster to win this Belmont Stakes, but I believe he'll get the pace he needs to run at. With this one-turn, 1 1/8 configuration, the pace figures to get pretty hot, and I think it'll work in the favor of closers in this race, and I think Max Player is an improving horse for Linda Rice. Yes, I don't like that he hasn't run 4.5 months, but maybe it's by design that Linda gave him time off to get him to get better, and I believe this horse will be a fair enough price, and he ultimately is my second choice in the Belmont Stakes. But Sole Volante is a player for trainer Patrick Biancone, who brings his rider Luca Panici up from Gulfstream Park, and hopefully that won't be a hindrance for him. And this is a win in the Sam F. Davis 3-back on February 8th at Tampa Bay Downs. He's good. He got a quick pace to run at here, but he's going to get a quick pace to run at in the Belmont Stakes, so why can't he be effective here? And he got a very useful prep just 10 days ago at Gulfstream Park, where he wasn't even favored. His entry mate, I say his barn mate, Ete Indian was the favorite in there, but Sole Volante got the quick pace, but he used that race as basically a workout for this Belmont Stakes. And do not rule out Patrick Biancone. He knows how to win on short rest, and this horse has a big chance in the Belmont Stakes, especially if you're trying to beat Tis the Law, which I'm not. Dr. Post is one of 2 for trainer Todd Pletcher. Now, Todd has had incredible success in the Belmont Stakes, but a lot of that is probably due to the 1.5 miles and Todd being able to really find the right horses. So I don't know that he has that same edge. What I do like about this win by Dr. Post in the Unbridled at Gulfstream was that he fought between horses, and he really got a great education. What I don't like is that his 86 buyer was 10 points lower than his maiden win, where he got a 96 buyer. But you know what? He's shown he can run quick. He's got the right trainer, and unlike the aforementioned 2 horses, he's a horse that has tactical speed, so he should be sitting in a similar spot to Tis the Law. I don't know if he's good enough, but he's absolutely not impossible, especially coming from the Pletcher barn. A horse that everybody has to be concerned with is the 1 Tap It to Win. We'll go back just 10 days, or actually 16 days, I should say, before the Belmont Stakes to June 4th, where he absolutely blitzed a very, very strong and promising field of non-winners of 1 horses from top barns, and he ran them off their feet. He draws the inside, and Mark Casse, he runs them when they're good. Last year, got Stormy beat fillies in the ungraded De La Rose and came back just a week later and blitzed the males in the Grade 1 4-star Dave. Do not discount Mark Casse off short rest. He has running the speed in this race, and if Tap It to Win runs as well as he did in that race, he's going to take a lot of beating. We'll see how much pressure he gets from horses like Pneumatic and perhaps the 6-4 Left. The number 4 Modernist, for Belmont. We'll see if Belmont can finally get his 5,000th win before the Belmont Stakes, but that would be quite a story if he somehow pulled the upset in the Belmont, as he did with Drosselmeyer 10 years ago, and wins with Modernist. This is Modernist's win 2 back in the Risen Star. He was able to loaf on the lead, set a very slow pace, and he beat a field that's not nearly the quality of the Belmont Stakes. His next race actually wasn't bad because he drew a far outside post and he chased around a lone speed and didn't come back. He's got to take a step forward, but why can't he take a step forward? He's training well for this race, and Belmont is taking a chance. Another horse with the speed to stay close that'll be sitting somewhere relatively mid-pack, 4th or 5th, around where Tiz the Law is. Now let's go to Pneumatic, who we mentioned before on the far outside for Steve Asmussen. A lot of people thought if Maxfield, who was unfortunately hurt, had run this Belmont Stakes, he would have been a clear-cut second choice to Tiz the Law, and his fan base might have made him a very, very close second choice. Well, Pneumatic was beaten just a length and 3/4 to Maxfield while attending the pace. Now, it's not as though that pace fell apart, so I don't think he was really hindered by the pace, but he's an improving lightly raced horse for Steve Asmussen, drawn well on the outside in a good stalking position. I don't know if he's good enough, but his speed figures are improving, and he's a good horse, and whether or not this is the right race for him, I think Pneumatic's a horse that you'll be hearing from at some point. I am not trying to beat favored Tiz the Law this year in the Belmont Stakes presented by NYRA Bets. I put him on top. I went 8-3-2-9. I'm going to bet a little to win a max player if his odds are in the 6 to 8 to 1 range, but I'm mostly going to bet an 8-3 exacta and a small reverse. I've got the 2 Sole Volante third and the 9 Dr. Post fourth, no matter who you play in the Belmont Stakes and all the races here at Belmont Park and all of our tracks in the New York Racing Association. Play it through NYRA Bets. Head on over if you're not a member. A $25 free play, plus we'll match up to 100% of your deposit up to $200. Use the promo code 25. Belmont Stakes 152 is presented by NYRA Bets.